fits of jealous rage, smooching other women, and allegations of AI-generated abs, Mark Consuelos may be known for his upbeat demeanor on Live with Kelly and Mark, but his shady side comes out in full force when the cameras are off. While commemorating National Breakup Day on their morning show in December 2023, Kelly Ripa and Mark Consuelos asked anyone thinking of dumping their partner to give them a call and pass over the task. Consuelos even boasted that he was good at it. It was then that Ripa revealed to the audience, "I'm the last person he's broken up with." The former soap opera star then revealed that just 3 days before they were due to walk down the aisle in 1996, Consuelos called things off. Yes, he very nearly left his future wife at the altar before thankfully having second thoughts.
I followed her into Central Park. I stalked her, and then we went back to my place, and then we got married the next day.
Consuelos and Ripa have now been married for the best part of 3 decades, but judging from the glut of stories about the latter's behavior during their early days, it's a wonder they even made it to their first anniversary. In fact, shortly after tying the knot, Ripa appeared to believe that they had made a grave mistake. While appearing on the Double Date podcast in 2021, Ripa recalled one particular argument when Consuelos made his feelings crystal clear. She said, "I think Mark felt like he rushed into it, and maybe he made a mistake, and maybe he was regretting it, and he took my wedding ring and threw it out the window. And then he turned around and I said, I'm still here." Ripa believes that at the time, Consuelos expected her to suddenly disappear, and so he was caught off guard when she remained by his side. She then told him,
"I'm scared too. Like, I get it. This is forever. I'm with you. Now we have to go find that ring."
There are occasions on their hit morning TV show where Consuelos appears determined to sit in Ripa's doghouse. What else can explain why he decided to admit that he'd once kissed another woman at a soccer game? During a 2024 episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, Consuelos recalled seeing his favorite team, Campobasso, win the championship and how he commemorated such an occasion. He said, "I'm running and I see this lady. Let's call her my aunt, maybe someone else's aunt. And we look at each other and we're so excited, and there's this plexiglass, and we come to the glass, and you know what?
I kissed her."
Consuelos went on to reveal that not only was the kiss a passionate one, but that he closed his eyes too. When pressed further on the subject, Consuelos finally appeared to realize he'd dug a hole for himself and desperately tried to climb out, arguing that it could just as easily have been a guy he planted his lips on. If a young Mark Consuelos had his own theme tune, it would undoubtedly be John Lennon's Jealous Guy. According to Ripa, Consuelos used to be consumed by it. During one particular episode of her podcast, Let's Talk Off Camera in 2023, Ripa told listeners that the biggest complaint she had about their marriage was his bouts of jealousy. She then recalled an incident that proved how difficult things got. The drama occurred during a meal at an Italian restaurant just a week after the couple got hitched. Ripa described their waiter as a very cute old man in his 70s or 80s and recalled,
He leaned down and he said, and for the principessa.
Although the recent bride was flattered to be described as a princess, the recent groom took instant offense and picked a horrible fight. On hearing the story, Consuelos admitted that he was pretty insane in his 20s, but insisted that he's no longer as jealous as he once was. Getting jealous over a flattering waiter, however, was nothing compared to the stunt that Consuelos pulled long after the honeymoon period. In the book he contributed to with his wife, What Makes a Marriage Last, the actor admitted he once got so paranoid that Ripa was cheating on him that he flew from Boston to New York to try and prove it. Consuelos explained that he started to get suspicious during a period filming away from home when he couldn't get a hold of Ripa. On his impromptu flight back, he called his wife to ask about her whereabouts, to which she replied she was cleaning the bathroom. She explained in the book, apparently he thought that sounded very fishy. He wanted to catch me. So he gets home and tells the doorman to call up to the apartment and tell me there's a flower delivery. I'm excited because I'm thinking, oh my gosh, he's sending me flowers. However, instead of a bunch of red roses, a mop-holding, bathrobe-sporting Ripa was greeted by her angry husband. Ripa wrote, "He comes in. He doesn't even say hello. He's looking for something. I'm still looking for the flower guy, and he's sweeping the scene." Consuelos acknowledged that he was entirely in the wrong and that he's no longer the jealous person he once was.
I was pretty insane. But that jealousy thing definitely followed me for a while. I'm not jealous anymore.
Consuelos' Father of the Year credentials came into question during a 2024 episode of Live with Kelly and Mark, when it was revealed he once inadvertently took his son on an unconventional playdate. Ripa told the audience that Consuelos arranged to meet up with another dad and their kids at Hooters. Ripa recalled, "They came in reeking of cigarette smoke. I was like, did you guys sit in the smoking section? They were like, the whole place is the smoking section." Consuelos tried to defend himself, placing all the blame on the unnamed dad in the process. He told the audience, "It wasn't like my go-to hangout. It was solidified by the fact the other dad said, 'We're gonna go take the kids out to eat chicken wings.' I said, 'Sure,' and he was driving, and then we pulled into Hooters." Consuelos might have the experience of welcoming 3 kids into the world. However, according to Ripa, he is far from the ideal birthing partner. In 2023, Ripa responded to an Instagram post which asked if Consuelos did anything to help her while she was giving birth. It's fair to say that Ripa's answer was dripping in sarcasm. She told the world that while in the throes of one particular childbirth, Consuelos asked her if he could eat. If that wasn't insensitive enough, Ripa also alleged that her husband told her he was going to head to the batting cages. It's not known which of the couple's 3 kids were on the verge of being born at the time, but interestingly, Consuelos has never denied the accusations. Consuelos may have repeatedly been crowned People magazine's sexiest TV host, but according to his wife, there's nothing sexy about his behavior after doing the deed. In fact, after intimacy, the actor apparently turns into something of a grouch. This particular revelation came in 2017 during one of the many on-air conversations about their intimate life. Ripa told audiences, "He's immediately mean to me afterwards, and I don't like that. I think it's bizarre. He becomes short with me, like irritated." As you'd expect, Ripa's candid confession soon went viral, and perhaps in a spot of damage limitation on her husband's behalf, Ripa claimed that she'd only been joking. The former soap opera hunk also felt the need to defend himself, telling viewers,
"I didn't refute it because I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I ever heard."
He then added that far from being mean after the throes of passion, he simply goes to sleep. Jimmy Kimmel no doubt regretted asking how Consuelos and Ripa were enjoying sharing both their personal and professional lives since joining forces on morning television. The late-night host inadvertently appeared to start a domestic dispute between the married pair, and Consuelos' short attention span was to blame. While appearing on Jimmy Kimmel Live in 2025, the pair both claimed that they had no problem being in each other's pockets 24/7. But that's perhaps because Consuelos often transports his mind to somewhere else entirely. This seemed to be validated when Kimmel showed a clip of Consuelos drifting off while Ripa was talking.
Why are you looking at me?
No, I'm just think it's a cool concept.
I think you just drifted off and started thinking about it.
Consuelos explained to Kimmel that he was just having a moment.
I was literally thinking about lunch.
And apparently, this is a regular occurrence at home, too. In fact, Ripa joked that her husband would often zone out for all but 1% of their conversations. She then added,
At least pretend you're paying attention to me on air. From 9 until 10. It's not that hard.
In 2023, Consuelos repeatedly took aim at New Jersey and its inhabitants live on air for their apparent lack of traveling skills. He went on the attack while discussing a survey that stated that New Jersey residents don't know how to travel. Consuelos seemed to have a number of problems with the Garden State and also complained that you can't pump your own gas there, while Ripa tried to placate New Jersey viewers by revealing that she could relate to their apparent problems with carry-on luggage. Consuelos continued to stick the knife in, this time complaining about the city's road sign locations. He said, "Also, when they get out of the airport, if they're driving, they won't understand the exit signs because the exit signs are before the exit, whereas in New Jersey, they're like a half mile afterwards. Turn right." Consuelos nearly broke the internet in November 2024 when he showed off his glistening torso in an advertising campaign for footwear brand Stuart Weitzman.
He's gorgeous, isn't he?
And he nearly broke the internet again when accusations started to fly that his rippling muscles weren't all they seemed. In the comments, one person suggested that Consuelos' abs were generated by AI, while another wrote, "Those calves almost look like implants." Before all the speculation mounted, Consuelos insisted in a press statement that his impressive physical appearance stemmed from nothing but good old-fashioned hard work, and that Ripa had been instrumental in his decision to sign up. He said, "When I told her about the campaign concept of strong, sophisticated, and sexy, she encouraged me to go for it and put all my hours in the gym to good use." Who among us hasn't watched a typically obscure sport during the Olympics and then suddenly made it their entire personality for a week or two? Ripa is certainly no stranger to such a habit. Unfortunately, her enthusiasm is often dampened by Consuelos' insulting responses. Ripa explained on her podcast, "I have what Mark likes to call ass syndrome. I don't have imposter syndrome, so I think that I can do everything." Ripa then thought of a specific example that riled up her other half. She said, "Like, I'm not kidding. We'll watch the Winter Olympics, and I start moving furniture in the living room, and he goes, 'What are you doing?' And I go, 'I'm gonna figure skate.' He's like, 'Stop it. I watched it. I got it.'" Live with Kelly and Mark is renowned for its married hosts revealing a little too much information about each other. But in 2023, Consuelos revealed so much that the studio audience started to boo him. The drama began when the couple started talking about cricketing, which Ripa explained is when you rub your feet together before bed, like a cricket. Ripa admitted that she does exactly that to Consuelos on a nightly basis. Consuelos then chimed in, saying, "Which is dangerous, especially in the fall when things are dry, because if you don't shave, you can start a fire." Although Ripa was clearly irritated by the insensitive comment, her husband went on to joke that she could put her skills to use on a survival show before warning the crowd, "Make sure you change the batteries on your fire alarm." The sea of boos that resulted proved that those in attendance were firmly Team Kelly.